This wasn't a wildfire tragedy. This was a calculated ambush. These were firefighters, trained, brave, and they never saw it coming.
What really happened? On June 26, 2025, a group of elite firefighters was deployed to fight a rapidly spreading wildfire near Coeur d'Alene National Forest in Idaho. As they hiked into the dense terrain, smoke and heat filled the air, but they weren't just facing flames. At approximately 9:17 a.m., gunshots rang out. Multiple firefighters were struck by rifle fire coming from a nearby ridge. Chaos erupted. Radios went silent. Medics called for immediate evacuation as a helicopter circled overhead. What started as a routine containment operation turned into a deadly ambush. 2 firefighters were killed. Another was critically wounded. One of the suspects, later identified as a local survivalist with anti-government leanings, was found dead hours later from a self-inflicted wound.
Human impact. These weren't just victims in the headline. They were sons, daughters, mentors, friends, people who signed up to protect others. Among the fallen was 33-year-old veteran squad leader Travis McCall, who had just become a father 3 weeks earlier. Another, Maria Lopez, was an EMT and wildfire specialist, known for her leadership and calm under pressure. The attack shook the nation. Thousands gathered for vigils. Fire departments from across the country changed their radio codes for added safety. This wasn't just a tragedy. It was a wake-up call. Mechanism of the attack: authorities believe the shooter used a scoped rifle and was positioned on higher ground, giving him a tactical advantage. The shots were precise, aimed at movement and radio signals. One bullet struck a radio antenna, disrupting communication. Another pierced a fireproof vest. The ambush lasted only 4 minutes, but left devastation that would last a lifetime.
Injuries in physiology: victims suffered penetrating chest wounds, causing collapsed lungs and rapid blood loss, traumatic brain injuries from high-caliber impacts, internal bleeding and spinal damage, severe psychological trauma for survivors, including acute stress and survivor's guilt. Medical response was delayed due to the need to secure the area. A cruel irony in an emergency meant to save lives.
Rescue and medical response emergency responders couldn't reach the victims immediately. Sniper threat remained active for nearly an hour. The area was declared hot. No helicopters allowed to land. Tactical units had to secure the scene before medics could intervene. By the time help arrived, 2 firefighters had bled out. Another was in critical condition with spinal injuries. Evacuation was done by airlift in stages, while SWAT teams swept the hills, searching for more shooters.
Legal and investigative findings authorities confirmed the shooter was acting alone. He had a manifesto outlining beliefs that the government used wildfires to push land seizures and surveillance. He viewed firefighters as agents of the state. Weapons found at his campsite included 2 modified rifles, body armor, and tactical gear. The investigation is ongoing, but the FBI now considers this a case of domestic terrorism, the first of its kind, involving a wildfire response. This raises a dark question. Could it happen again? Prevention and public awareness. Firefighting teams now receive threat training, including active shooter scenarios. Something unimaginable a decade ago. New policies are being proposed. Tactical surveillance before deploying crews. Mental health screenings for wilderness permit applicants. Improved GPS tracking and panic alert systems for remote teams. This case exposed a terrifying truth. Our frontline heroes aren't just fighting fire anymore. This wasn't just an ambush in the woods. It was a direct attack on those who risked their lives for ours. Travis, Maria, 2 others. Their names should not fade into statistics. Let this story be remembered not for its violence, but for what it demands of us: vigilance, reform, and respect. The line between wilderness and war is thinner than we think. Would you have gone into that forest? Leave a comment and share this video with someone who should know what really happened. We'll see you next time on Cause of Death.